together content developers, content enablers, and subject matter experts to streamline the efforts of the Indian language technology and content sector. The Alliance is a community of practice of 360 plus organizations belonging from technology, publishing, translation, academia, government, and many other stakeholders who have come together to share knowledge, best practices, and identify the path to create an environment where all online content is available in all Indian languages of the country. Bhashantra for us is the annual platform to get the ecosystem together to deliberate on opportunity areas and identify the way forward for the digital language ecosystem to create an Indic internet where internet users can interact seamlessly in real time with one another, regardless of the language they are speaking or writing, and where goods and information can be searched for and accessed no matter where it was posted or in which language. With that, I'd like to welcome all of you today, and I hope that this becomes a fruitful discussion for all of us. I'd like to call on the stage Mr. Ambrish Bakaya, Co-Chairman, ICT and Digital Economy Committee, Mr. Aman, Program Manager, Public Policy Google, Mr. Anandsagar Shiralkar, Founder and CEO of Vizitech Solutions, Dr. Srivastava, Senior Director and Program Head, TDIL, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Abhishek Singh, CEO, MyGov, and Ms. Sarika, Gulami, Director and Head, ICT and Digital Economy and FICCI-ILIA Division. I'd like to call upon Mr. Ambrish Bakaya to hand out the green certificate to Dr. S.K. Srivastava. I'm sorry. To hand over the green certificate to Shri Abhishek Singh. May I request Mr. Ambrish Bakaya to take the stage and share his thoughts.
Good morning, friends. Sri Abhishek Singh, CEO, MyGov, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India. Dr. S.K. Srivastava, Senior Director and Program Head, TDIL, Ministry of Electronics. Mr. Aman, Jain, India Manager, Public Policy, Google. And Mr. Anandsagar, Shiralkar, Founder and CEO of Rian. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to the curtain raiser of Bhashantra, which is an initiative of FICCI-ILIA. I'd like to welcome Sri Abhishek Singh and to thank him for having accepted our invitation to be part of this forum. We know he has just taken over this role and we'd like to congratulate him at the same time, as well as promise all the support that we have from the FICCI, ICT and Digital Economy Committee for the work that he would be doing. I also wanted to let you know that FICCI and ILIA is an initiative of FICCI for the development and growth of the internet and Indian language technology sector in India. We are working actively with multiple partners, and if you look at the agenda that we have today, it reflects the partnership approach that has been taken in this field. So this is an initiative which we are now taking forward to help proliferate the use of Indian languages in multiple digital platforms. I'd also like to welcome Dr. Srivastava, Senior Director, and thank him and the whole TDIL team for the work and guidance and support on this initiative. And of course, thank you very much, Aman and Anandsagar, for joining us here and sharing your thoughts with us about how we can take this whole initiative forward. As all of you are aware, India is obviously a very unique country, and I think all of you know a lot about that. We have 1,600 dialects, which are formulated into 30 sort of languages, and interestingly, some of these languages are all above a threshold of 1 million people using them. That's almost the size of some smaller countries actually. So the ability for us to be able to work in these languages will be a huge benefit to the larger portion of society. As was mentioned earlier, we have close to 400 or 500 million internet users, but there is the next 500 million which are now going to come and be definitely part of this whole ecosystem. And it is the Indian languages which will make them much more inclusive, as well as be able to get them access to digital inclusion. It was with this idea of creating a whole ecosystem, and I think that's really important because it's not something which the government can do in isolation or the industry can do in isolation, but a whole ecosystem which then needs to be created around this. And actually that's how this initiative was born, to try and build that ecosystem, and it's a start which we have taken a couple of years back, and this definitely is something which will continue to increase given the stated intent of the government to be much more inclusive around the whole technology sort of platform. We can look at, and we were talking to the CEO of MyGov just before this, and I hope I'm not taking some of the points away from what he's going to talk about. But we were talking about device, which is access. We were talking about the digital infrastructure, which is the connectivity bit, and then one of the obviously the most intrinsic layers was content. So I think if you look at the mobility revolution, there is a whole thing which the government has done to create access, the whole BPNL as well as the broadband outreach of the government through NOFN has been the second sort of thing to increase reach. But I think this work ties in very squarely with the ability to get more content in a manner which could then be used by the citizens of India. And that's how the whole concept of Bhashantra came in, and I think this is like a curtain raiser to it, which will set the whole context around what can be achieved through this. We are seeing multiple aspects of it covered during the rest of the day. And again, as CEO sir was saying, that was the sort of the meat of a lot of this is around the discussions which you all will have over the next couple of hours. And it was really good for me to see the really diverse members of each of the panels. So I think that's really a good sort of indicator for where Bhashantra can go forward. So as far as this year's symposium is concerned, we're going to develop an effective mechanism on how the Indian languages can be used. This whole thing is going to come together, and Sarika and other people will tell you more about it in an event on the November 18th. And I think that's sort of one culmination of the work that we all would be doing. So I'd like to sort of thank you all once again. I'd like to thank all the people who are here and welcome them for having come and sharing their thoughts. So from FICCI's side, not just through ILI, but also through the ICT and Digital Economy Committee, we are more than committed to support this initiative because we believe that's how one can really take the benefits of this digital inclusion forward for the country. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bakaya. I'd like to call Mr. Aman Jain to take the stage and share his thoughts.
Thank you. I'd echo most of what Ambrish had said, so some of it might be a little repetitive. Apologize for taking this up. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, everyone on DAS. A very warm welcome to all of you to the curtain raiser. And then hopefully all of you will also join us at the main event on November 18th. I'm delighted to be able to speak to you today on something that's very close to my heart and obviously at the core of what Google India believes in. As India sort of embraces the digital era with greater enthusiasm, we need to find ways in which we can incorporate the Indic language in the internet. This is something that, since we've been in India since 2004, it's been constantly being something that's come up in our conversations with the government. Minister Ravi Prasad had said this, and I quote him here. He said, the language of internet cannot be English and English alone. It must have linkages with local, and local means local languages. And that's something that we've taken close to our heart. We've also seen with Prime Minister Modi's push towards a digital India, how the need for local languages has really come up. We see this in our products every day, so that's why you see every main product at Google as Indian languages enabled. We've seen absolutely astronomical growth. Today, for instance, we've seen almost like a 400% jump in search queries in Hindi. Right? And that explains to you how Indic languages is becoming mainstream. The two things that we see very clearly, or three things within Google we often talk about, are the three V's. So we call it video, vernacular, and voice. Right? So what we see as the device for the future is a smartphone that's enabled, that's voice enabled with Indic language support. That is the device that will be used the most. And across all our products, you'll see this. Ambrish had mentioned about a few languages that 1 million people each use. We have a product called Gboard, or our keyboard, that supports over 60 plus Indian languages. The Constitution of India recognizes 22. And the Gboard supports languages like Santali and Telugu that are spoken by about 1 million people each. So again, we see within that also Gboard, we put in languages like Marwari, Bhojpuri, Haryanvi. These are not typically what you would find in terms of input instruments. Maps, voice navigation now is in 7 Indian languages. We have Assistant in English and many other languages again. An interesting bit of information here on the Assistant. One of the greatest sort of usage of Assistant is actually on the Reliance smartphone. Right? So that provides some of the largest number of queries that we get through the Assistant. So that again explains to you how languages is crucial. And one of the things we recognized is that first part is to get folks to search in Indian languages, but that's not enough because what they want to consume on the internet is local language content. And for that, we've again tried to integrate and come up with new tools. We've launched a new tool called Navlekha, which uses AI to render any PDF containing Indian language content into editable text, so it makes it easier for local publishers to be able to put their content online. And then we provide them with AdSense support. So it also helps them. The two issues it solves is one, being able to put Indic content online, and the second is to be able to monetize it. Both are incredibly important. Many of you would agree that how that's a monetization of some of this content is a challenge, and that tool really does help. And speaking of which, Google Ads, which we started in obviously in English and then moved to Hindi, we've seen some again fantastic growth there. Now we have Google Ads in Bengali, in Tamil, in Telugu, and in Marathi, and then we'll also get more Indian languages on this. And then we've seen all of these efforts then helping many of the startups, many of the spin-offs that have come up through these endeavors of ours have been incredible. ShareChat is a great example, and there are many, many others that are doing really well. And our attempt is to be able to support that. And this again goes back to what was mentioned earlier, that how there is a need for an ecosystem to come together. And this is where I congratulate the FICCI team for the work they've done on ILIA till now. It's been absolutely fantastic to see it from from its nascency to now over 300 plus members is incredible. And what that really brings together is the need for the ecosystem to come together. The publishers need to come together. The technology company, the government is a huge supporter, and we need their support again more and more as in the Indic language content industry grows. Some of the challenges, and I just want to highlight this again, most of you are sort of practitioners in this field, so are aware of these challenges, but I just mentioned them. Some of the challenges that confront the forum lie in areas such as lack of awareness, lack of standardization of fonts has been something that's been going on for many years. Input methods, this was something that at the last Bhashantra we tried to do something on this, but again, there needs to be more done on this. Translation software, and as I already mentioned, discoverability and actual availability of Indian language content. The ILIA has led policy advocacy, thought leadership, networking to encourage Indic language publishing in digital format. I encourage every one of you, if you're not already a member, to become a member, to support the initiative. As Google, we are absolutely committed to working closely with FICCI-ILIA, with the government, with the entire ecosystem in whichever way that we can. Lastly, I close with this. It's an effort that we value a lot around what FICCI-ILIA has been able to do. And I wish all of you the very best of luck for the rest of the day, for the discussions that you have today. I'm sure they'll be incredibly engaging and useful. And once again, I extend invitation on our behalf, and of course FICCI-ILIA's behalf to the main event on November 18th as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jain, for your kind words. Our member support is our key strength. I'd now like to call Mrs. Sarika to introduce Bhashantra.
Very good morning to all of you. So, like my previous speakers, I would be also echoing the same thing, that we all understand the importance of the subject being talked about. And that's the reason we have the senior dignitaries on the dais from the ministry and from the industry who are actually supporting it. And then we have a house full of people out here who have traveled from nook and corners of the country. So first of all, a round of applause for all of you, and thank you a lot for joining us for this evening. That actually mentions the importance of the subject, which not only lives in the words, but in actions. And that is where the commitment from the people in the room. With this, I would not say much time on the FICCI-ILIA because you've already got a briefing from the co-chair and the previous speakers. They mentioned about that as FICCI, a 91-year-old chamber body, we thought about the importance of the subject to complete the whole ecosystem. We're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about the connectivity, and then here is the content which was missing. We all agree with the part that internet is an important tool for socio-economic development. But when we talk with respect to India, we understand the challenges. We understand the things which the industry has to go through, and we understand how we can have more common man participating in it and actually utilizing that socio-economic tool for its benefit can only happen when we have the vernacular content being available. And for this, we would be a facilitator. We would be working with the industry and with the government for the growth of the sector. We would be happy to work all the challenges identified. We have started the process. We already have 300 plus member body, and we are working with the members, and we would look forward to get further more suggestions and more things so that we can take it with you and the government together, so that the largest democracy can actually take the benefit of having the internet as a socio-economic tool for development. That's something, the aim which we carry forward. With this, Bhashantra, most of the people who are in the room, they were also part of the Bhashantra 2018 when it was launched, the annual symposium of FICCI along with the Ministry of Electronics and IT. Since then, there were suggestions from the members, there were suggestions from the government side that we should take up something in the real-time thing. So, Bhashantra. So the name sounds as in Bhashantra. So FICCI then decided that we will partner with the industry and we will launch a translation competition in the curtain raiser of Bhashantra. Bhashantra is scheduled for 18th November. What does this Bhashantra stands for? So as FICCI, we are partnered with the homegrown startups. There is a technology partner, Ryan, with whom the FICCI as a team will be working in. And we will be opening up, we will be launching the Bhashantra today, and it would be a translation competition. As of now, we have taken up 5 language pairs, which includes Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, and Gujarati. As of now, these are the ones, and we will come up with the further more languages in the next phase. The competition would be open post the launch today, and it would be run till 10th of November. We would encourage people to come on board. Please participate there. There would be content, would be there. You need to participate. There would be multi-stage reviewing of the submitted job from you all, and we are opening it for anybody above 16 years of age, 16 of age. So it includes even the academic people, the students, as well as the translators, the industry, and even for the common man. So we are even wanting more of the housewives and others to participate. We are really thankful to the MyGov for coming on board for this one. We understand the power of MyGov. I don't need to speak much words about it. We're thankful for the CEO for joining us. Sir, congratulations for your new role, and we really look forward to make big strides with you on this particular domain with MyGov. So I don't have to say much about it. Highest democracy, the largest democracy, and the largest common citizen platform. You understand the power of the competition there. So that is what we would be launching it today. It would, as I said, I mentioned the duration. You would be given the task. The technology partner will further talk about it, the process. We will. The good part is the winners. Every language pair would have 3 winners out of the whole lot, which would be there. We are aiming to add as many words as possible through this process. We hope, if we, with the support of yours, we can contribute around 1.5 million words during this tenure. So that's an aim we start with, and we look forward to have it furthermore during the course of the time. The winners for each of the language pairs, the members have come on board and they have agreed to absorb the winners and give them the job opportunities. So that is something which is really nice. You understand, we have people who are participating, we have the government who is supporting, and then we have the members from amongst yourselves only who have come on board to give the job opportunities to the winners. So we have the whole ecosystem working on this, and we look forward to make it a success with all of your support. Please spread the word about it, and we would be happy to take your suggestions also further on this. The results of the same would be announced on 18th of November, where the winners will be facilitated accordingly. With these words, I would request the CEO of MyGov, Shri Abhishek Singh, to kindly launch Bhashantra. May I request the team to kindly facilitate that? This link would be available on the FICCI-ILIA website. As I mentioned, anybody above 16 years can participate. And good luck for your participation. So now I request the technical partner, Mr. Anandsagar from Jain Technologies, to kindly come over and share the details with you. The other partner who's with us and who would be providing the job opportunities is Multibhashi. We would be having a speaker, Anuradha from Multibhashi. She will be taking it further during the course of the day. So we look forward to have that discussions with you all. Requesting Anandsagar.
Good morning, everyone. I welcome all participants, media professionals, government officials, who are present today. Thank you, FICCI-ILIA Group, as well, for giving us opportunity to be a technology partner for this event. I'm a bit nostalgic today. Do you know why? 20 years ago, I was here present in the same building to give the speech for Japanese language speech contest. So it was 20 years ago when I delivered the speech, and that speech contest gave me opportunity to work in Japan, where I've worked for almost 12 years. So thank you for the FICCI for providing that support. I'm very happy for getting this opportunity again. Now let us talk about why translation is important. How many of you know, do you remember the Ebola breakout that hit in West Africa in 2014? So what happened? Yes, so what happened around that time was several thousand people died in that event, and the main reason for the Ebola breakout was the virus. But the important part is communication that was supposed to happen with the local people to educate them about the virus was in English, which 80% of the population in the West Africa didn't understand. So it's a mystery why authorities communicated that message in English when most of the population didn't understand English. Why banners were in English? So this is the social, application. But let's look at the business application as well. So if you could see, global organizations, big companies, world economy is run by big global companies. And now global companies have started seeing that their growth is limited if they focus only in English-speaking world. So you could see, like in other countries as well, Japan, in other European countries also, they have started like going in their languages. And now we would see that in Indian languages as well. So there is a new term called local is new normal, which means that global scale with the local market appeal. So again, the global scale with the local market appeal has now become a new normal. And as you could see, as Mr. Jain also mentioned, there is a huge demand for Hindi on the search engines, and that's actually the result that the local, the native people, they want like content in the native languages. And this is, Google and like all these companies have started working on that as well. So if you could see, the population of India is around 1.25 billion, and out of that, 22 major languages are spoken by 96% of the population. So if you see this in the Indian context, you have started seeing a lot of big MNCs, right? Like including Microsoft, Samsung, Google, Xiaomi. They have started focusing on the regional languages, and that's what like the trend we will see in India by major global companies who would start like localizing. So there is going to be a huge demand in languages. And if you could see Pearson, publication houses such as Pearson, Oxford, they also have started focusing on regional localization of the content. So, but do you think all is well in Indian translation industry? Do you think, how many of you know how Indian translation industry is perceived outside? Well, all is not good. This is the recent post. It's not visible, but what has happened? We have seen like a lot of hatred for the Indian translation industry. Hatred like for Indian translation industry, and we really need to do something for this. And so there are. First of all, we need to understand hurdles. And earlier also like we discussed like few hurdles, but there are a lot of hurdles that we need to address to ensure that we are creating the proper solution for them. In my opinion, first 3 points are hurdles. Take a moment to just look at those hurdles. One of the things that we really need to focus on is building or creating a technology platform, bringing awareness about technology so that people can leverage on the technology. Now, do you know, right, like in Estonian language, there are more web pages than any of the Indian language. And Estonian language is spoken only by 1.2 million people. So again, we really need to create a lot of contents in Indian languages, and to truly realize the vision of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi of Digital Bharat. We really need to have inclusive, in the digital inclusiveness, and which Mr. Bakaya also mentioned. Digital inclusiveness is very important going forward. We really need to focus on that, and for that we need to do things differently. We cannot just go with the conventional, conventional wisdom or conventional ways. And I'm very happy that FICCI-ILIA group, I mean, they have taken this bold step. Like they are committed to take different ways to increase the local or increase the Indic languages on the internet. And this is like we are taking like one of the steps. So we are very happy to be partnering with them for this contest. What we are trying to do here is we will create like a contest. I mean, we have created a contest that we just launched. We have created it on the website. What you have to do is just register on the FICCI's website, then select the language pair, which once you register, you can select it from the 5 different languages: Marathi, then Marathi, Hindi, Gujarati, and Tamil. So there are like 5 language pairs. Then once you have completed your work, you just need to submit the work, and it will go to reviewers and juries based on the review. And what we, in this case, like we are going to be very fair. We have introduced a lot of fair policies. We will ensure that the contest will be held like in a fair possible way. So if you have any questions, you can refer to the FICCI's website. You can also check the support at rian.io. You can reach out to us for any questions, and we are more than happy to support you to take you through the if you have any questions. So about a little bit about Rian. Rian is a technology platform that will be used for translating for the contest, and we have, like, our founding members have over 15 years of experience in the translation industry, and we have been developing this platform for over 3 years. We primarily worked with Japanese companies initially, so we understand international languages, and we have now started focusing on Indian languages as well. We have, this platform is created by translators for translators, and we have, until now, we have translated over 15 million words through this platform. And we are soon, like very soon, we'll approach to our next milestone of reaching 100 million words. With this platform we have created, we launched this platform in February 2019, and within just few months we have got over 3,000 users and organizations globally. They are using this platform. With this platform we have created 1,000 jobs so far, and we are looking forward to creating 1 million or over a million jobs through this platform for underutilized resources in the society. On behalf of Rian team, I wish you best of luck for the contest. Please help us spread the word, and happy translating. Thank you.
FICCI-ILIA website. For that matter, just don't want FICCI. FICCI will just have one banner, but on FICCI-ILIA website you will have a proper link where you can actually get to know about the terms and conditions and everything, and you can start participating. It's live right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shiralkar, for sharing your insights into the translation industry. Now I'd like to request Dr. S.K. Srivastava, Senior Director and Program Head TDIL, to take the stage and address the attendees.
Good morning to all of you. Sri Abhishek Singh, CEO MyGov, and other distinguished people sitting on the dais, participants, ladies and gentlemen. As you may be aware, sometime in March, Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India announced that we are going to initiate a natural language translation mission. Under this, we are going to develop very high quality machine translation systems which can be used to at least remove to some extent what we call language barrier, specifically in the domains of science and technology, healthcare, judiciary, and governance. Now, why it's so important? Why we are working on this? I'll share one example. Some time back, we received one court order from Supreme Court to develop systems, to develop translation systems which can be used in translation. And this order came because of one court case where a person was in prison for 10 years and his appeal could not be filed. The appeal could not be filed because translation was not available. That is the recorded reason given. That is not a single case. There are many such cases, especially poor people who can't afford good lawyers. So they face this problem because their cases go through certain government agencies which are supposed to provide legal assistance. So now, of course, based on that, we started a project which was demonstrated to Justice in Supreme Court. The committee chairman was Mr. Gulami, but Chief Justice was so interested that he also came to see the demonstration. He specifically wanted that at least the order part, what is the operating part of the order, that should be put in the languages, local languages for the people who are in that case. We start with Hindi. So now this is only one domain. If you go to other domains like healthcare, the previous speaker was talking about the crisis in West Africa. Similar problems, we also know that we are unable to communicate health-related information to people because of lack of knowledge of English which is available. Because most of the information is available in that form on the internet. Now, what will be possible if we are able to develop good quality systems? Certain things which we are unable to do right now, even we can't think of doing that, can be made possible, which is not a market even today, but it will be possible. Something like, you know that in European Union, there is a law that all the 24 languages which they are using, all the member states are supposed to issue their documents in all the languages. In India, we can't do that. Even if we make a law, we can't implement it. The only possible way is through technology, because this only can provide you a way to do that. Maybe it may take some time, because to reach to that kind of accuracy, we need at least 90-95% accuracy if we really want that it be used by people at a larger scale. Right now, of course, we are not at that level. So that is something which is not possible will be possible. And of course, one problem which we all know that we have very little content in Indian languages. In Hindi, it's only 0.055 out of the 10 million websites which are surveyed. It was found that only on 0.055 websites Hindi content is there. Similar situation is in other languages. All put together, it is less than 0.1%. So that is the kind of scenario we are in. Whereas English is about more than 50%, Russian 6%, and similar other languages. So that will be possible Because if we want to create content, original content, it is going to take time, it's expensive, it's not easy. But the way we can do differently is using technology for translation. That is possible very much. In fact, when we speak to state government, political leadership, they are also quite interested. But the thing is that somewhere we have to start and we have to give them a solution how we can move easily. Of course, this event is not only about translation. We know that speech recognition, all these are part of language technology and all these should be addressed. And also this debate today, deliberation should lead to some conclusions, some recommendations, what we need to do. Something like on corpus creation, we know that the government in other countries have been contributing to that. Now, what is the best way to do, what is the best way to share, and how industry can be involved? We have been doing this through academic institutions for almost the last 10 years, but the coverage is very limited. Whatever we have been able to develop, that's limited. Now, one thing is that sharing with these resources, another is creating more. For sharing, as far as concerned, government has decided to make it free of cost available to startups. All recognized startups can take it. Of course, academic institutions can take it. For others, small industries, it's 10% of the resource creation cost. Not the cost which was actually there, but only what is the cost today if you create that resource. So it's only 10% for small industry. So with this, I would like to thank FICCI to give this opportunity, and I expect that some useful conclusions, recommendations will come from
Thank you, Dr. Srivastava. May I request Shri Abhishek Singh, CEO MyGov, to deliver his inaugural address.
Srivastava, my colleague in Ministry of Electronics and IT, Mr. Ambrish, Bakaya, Mr. Aman, Jain, Anand, Shiralkar, the tech partner, Sarika, and distinguished participants to this very important initiative taken by FICCI-ILIA which has a potential for transforming the internet landscape in the country as far as languages are concerned. And Mr. Shiralkar, our technological partner, when he was delivering his speech, he was talking of feeling nostalgic about something 20 years back. So that when he mentioned that, I also went back some around 10 years back, in 2009-10, when Sarika was working with us. At that time also I was in the Ministry of Electronics and IT. So I joined in my new instant in the ministry around 2 weeks back. But that time I was heading the Common Services Center project, and the collaboration that we had with FICCI then was also something to do with access. That time the challenge, those days when the National E-Governance Plan was shaping up, the mission mode projects were being launched, the challenge that we faced was, how do we ensure that public services are easily accessible from people across the country, and especially the rural areas? The challenges at that point of time was that connectivity was not as ubiquitous as it is now. People didn't have access to devices, and even those who had access to devices, they did not know how to use those devices. And the number of services that was available, public services that was available, was very less. So we had come up with a model of a public-private partnership model of delivery of services. Today the CSCs are much well known, but those were the challenging days when we were trying to find our roots. From then, we have moved on, as Mr. Bakaya was mentioning. The devices have become more affordable. Like smartphones are today available at prices which many people can afford. The internet is more ubiquitous with the geo network and the fiber network expanding. More and more areas in our country, especially the rural areas, are connected to the internet. people are able to access services. Many government departments have digitized their services, public services are available, one can apply for passports, one can apply for various certificates, driving licenses, online, railway tickets, bank account. So all the entire gamut of public services have been, while a lot needs to be done, but a lot of services have been made available in the electronic mode. So when we come to this stage, and then of course another issue of access was how to make the differently abled access the internet access services. On that also the Ministry of Electronics and IT came up with guidelines, and today many public, almost all government departments are accessible, so that anyone who has, who is differently abled is also able to access those devices. At this stage, the challenge that we face is that if we have to expand our services beyond the English-speaking population, which is a minority in our country, we have to ensure that how do we make more content, how do we make public services, how do we make general internet information available in multiple Indian languages. As has been mentioned, we have multiple dialects, we have multiple languages, we have 22 official languages which are mentioned in the constitution. The initiatives that have been done so far by the government, especially the Ministry of Electronics and IT, in fact some projects have been done in which some content is available in 7 Indian languages. Aman was mentioning about Google and how Google has enabled a lot of languages. And when we look at making content available in the short term, we are thinking of crowdsourcing model to translate pages on internet and make them available through this project and through other initiatives to be available in the content form. But the content, as we know, is also changing, and in the next 3 to 5 years, the content as we know on internet will not be page-based, will not be print-based, will be more voice-based. So as we move on to the Siris and Alexas of the world, or the Google Assistant, we will need to have these assistants talking in the language which people understand. And like he mentioned about Google Maps available in 7 languages. So there also when we do that, how do we ensure that the assistant talks in the language people understand? Like very often when I use Google Maps, my driver who normally follows Hindi very well, but when he says, when Google Maps will say daain mude ya baain mude, he gets confused. For him a left and a right is more understandable than a daain or a baain. So we also need to think of what is the Hindi we speak, what is the Telugu we speak, or what is the Bengali we speak. Because every language evolves, and over a period of time, lot of Indian words, whether it were borrowed from Hindi or Urdu or from Marathi or the colloquial languages, have come into the usual way of these languages. So just like we see every year that so and so Indian words are added into, it becomes a news every year. 7 Indian words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary. We hear about that, but we don't hear like how many English words or how many Marathi words are added to the Hindi official dictionary or to the Telugu dictionary. So I don't know which entity will do that, but as we move forward and we ensure that people are able to access stuff in multiple languages, this will become a critical piece, and somebody will have to take ownership of which is the dictionary and how do we ensure that those languages which are spoken by people in across the country become part of that language. And that way, that will make the job of the language translators, the machine learning tools that we have much more easier, because then they will, like very often hardcore, when we use Google to translate English to Hindi, sometimes it comes with such cliched words that even Hindi speaking people will not able to understand. So we have to make language, when we talk of the internet, language should be easy to comprehend by people. And when we look at MyGov, like where I am working right now, MyGov is the, as you all must be knowing, is the largest citizen engagement platform of the Government of India. We have almost 10 million users. But when we break down the number of users, we find that majority of them are from Delhi, UP, the Hindi speaking areas. But if you have to actually be the citizen engagement platform, citizens live across the country, and we will have to be, and public services, the citizen information, or the things that we do on MyGov has to be accessible by anyone living down south or east. So then only it will become the true citizen engagement platform. We conduct polls, we conduct surveys. If we are limited to the Hindi speaking areas, our results will be biased, and that will not be the right way for policy formulation. Because we did, for example, we did the National Education Policy consultation, or we are doing the tariffs for the FM radio frequencies. So all these consultations we do as a government on this citizen engagement platform. So the suggestions that have to come from across the country. people who might not understand English or Hindi, who might want to give their suggestions in their own languages. So we are working hard to expand, and we are working, and I was discussing with Sarika the other day that when you are doing this translation and what, can you translate some of my pages? So we will be sharing some of the content that we have in MyGov, and if that can be done through this initiative or maybe the next round of translation and what, we will benefit greatly. Because that is a priority for the government, that is a priority for MyGov, and that is the way to move forward. And I'm very happy to see the large number of startups in this space. I'm very happy to see the companies who are showing interest and the kind of content which is coming on the internet. But till we provide content, any search engine, like Aman was mentioning that they can enable search engines, but they cannot generate content. So we have to have content so that optimized search results come and people get the right information. Like Wikipedia today is available in multiple languages, but not all pages are available in multiple languages. How do we ensure that we have our own kind of Ganipedia is run by NIC and DIT, so there also the pages are available in multiple languages. And when we do this translation in the crowdsourced manner, how are we doing it? Are we doing it de novo, or are we using a tool? And when we are using a tool, is English the link language? Like suppose I have to translate from Marathi to Telugu. How are we doing it? Are we doing it Marathi to English to Telugu, or direct Marathi to Telugu? Because the moment you do it via English, the inaccuracies will multiply, because there will be, say, for example, 10 to 15% of inaccuracies in any tool, and then it will further get compounded. So that piece we have to crack. And AI tools and machine translation tools, the neural machine learning technology can enable all of it. But to do that, we need to have a threshold, minimum threshold of information, data, dictionaries with which the technology, people who do the technology, people who do machine learning, they can model their projects on that. And the more data, like the crowdsourcing project that we are doing now, by 18th of November, if you can do like 500 pages or 1000 pages of 1000 words each, that will be a very rich source of data with which the techies can work. And then they can design it works like that. Because in our languages, phrases, in the order of words also determine what it means. So, or the punctuation marks. So the more content we generate, and the content we generate user-based, I hope you will have, the tech partners will have a mechanism to screen out any report, any submissions which are done using a tool itself. Because if people just get the paragraph and they use a Microsoft Bhasha or a Google Translate and submit it, that will not help us. So we will have to maybe have just like we have a tool for checking plagiarism, we can have a tool for checking whether the submissions are based on the existing tools. Because the more rich content that we get and the more translators that we identify across the country, and in a crowdsourced model, if they are able to monetize that content, that would help us in enriching our database, that will help us learning how languages work, and that would ultimately help us in translating the way it works. So I am sure a lot of ideas will be shared. In fact, I was discussing in the morning with Sarika and the company that it would have been a privilege to attend the sessions, because the 3 sessions which have been planned, like the language tech for social good, or content monetization, digital publishing, and how Indian languages are changing the internet landscape, and the kind of people who are there, who are participating in this, it would have been much more interesting to listen to them, to learn from them, and to pick up the threads like where the startup industry and where the entrepreneurs and where the people who know technology are thinking and moving ahead. That would be a great learning for the government, but unfortunately for want of time, I will not be able to be present in these sessions, but I would request the FICCI and ILIA team, if you can create a synopsis of the key ideas, or if there are certain presentations or the key inputs, so that can be shared with us. My email is ceo@mygov.in, so anyone who is wanting to give any suggestions on how MyGov can become a better platform in multiple Indian languages, or how we can improve MyGov's citizen engagement, the ideas and suggestions are most welcome. We are constantly evolving, and being a citizen engagement platform, the inputs from such an enlightened group of people who are present here will be very useful. I thank you once again, FICCI, ILIA, and my distinguished panelists on the panel for sharing, for making me a part of this. It has been a good learning experience, and I hope this partnership that we have built today will continue in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Singh.
I would like to call upon Mrs. Sarika to render a note of thanks.
Shri Singh, for sharing your thoughts, for encouraging words, and for giving us food for thought for the further processes. We will take the step-by-step approach and we'll see what best we can achieve out of it. We also look forward to the cooperation from all of you, as we mentioned that it's a crowdsourcing model, so we look forward to have as many words in the right context which could be beneficial as results for overall sector and growth. The data which gets created from this, we are taking the open source data for the competition, and the whatever the output, it would be put for the community usage. So that is again something we are making it open source. It would be available on FICCI-ILIA website after the competition results are done. So that's again something we are giving it for the sector back so that they can further work on it. And then, as suggested by Shri Abhishek Singh, we would be happy if the members can further look into it and come out with something which is more in the contextual manner. We all understand that with India, apart from the diversity of the languages, the contextual thing is very important, which actually changes, like what he mentioned about driver understanding Hindi, but if you say dai and bai is more convenient with left and right rather than saying dai and bai. And then we have also the similar words being used at different instances having a different meanings and the way to pronounce it. So all those things, we know that. You all are more experienced in this area, so I'm not going to talk about the challenges which as in Indian languages we have. So we look forward for the support from all our members to work further on this domain. With these words, I would like to thank all the dignitaries on the dais for sparing their time and joining us. Starting with Shri Abhishek Singh ji, thank you sir for joining and for the MyGov support you have rendered for the whole Bhashantra event. It is a curtain raiser and we look forward to have you again with us for the 18th November, when is the finale of the Bhashantra, where we have the result being announced for the competition, along with, yes, the brainstorming sessions which will be there and a couple of other activities. Heartfelt thanks to Dr. S.K. Srivastava ji, TDIL, department from the Ministry of Electronics and IT, and the whole team of TDIL who have been standing with us day in and out for working with us jointly on the various initiatives of the language domain, including the Bhashantra, which is one of them. We will be coming out with further more things, as mentioned by Dr. Srivastava. We are thankful to Aman and Mr. Anandsagar. They have been here. Their support really matters. Thank you, Aman, for sharing out what is in Google, what are the things, what are your visions, as in what you are thinking for India, what are things which you would like to take it further. We would be happy to take it more discussions with the company to understand how, as an industry, we can work for the sector. Thank you, Anandji. We look forward to have a really good results out of the competition. We hope the things come out well, and we will be proud that the homegrown startup will be able to conduct that thing for us. With these, we would like to thank the people in the room, which I started with my speech, that thank you for coming from all parts of the country. We would have a day full of discussions, brainstorming sessions, and the results would definitely go into the inputs for the main Bhashantra.